Hi there, I'm Nancy Nash with Starfish Strength, and today I want to give you a static stretching cool down you can do with just some floor space and a cushion or a friendly character pillow. For our exercise today, all you're gonna need is enough space to lay your body all the way down, maybe reach your arms a little bit side to side. You'll want either a towel or an exercise mat to support your body, and then to help you really expand your flexibility, you'll want a large cushion or some sort of pillow. Static stretching is best done when the body's warm. So that would be after movement, like a workout or a walk, after I've been taking a shower, a bath, or been in the hot tub. This is when the muscles are most open to being stretched. So if it's first thing in the morning, I'm gonna recommend that you go with one of my warm-up videos and save this for the end of the day. So I'm gonna start by laying all the way down on my back, positioning my pillow underneath both hips with my feet flat on the ground. I'm gonna then pull one knee in towards my chest, and I can hold right underneath the knee, but if that feels like too much tension, you can hold behind the knee. And then I'm gonna slowly start to straighten the opposite leg, and I should feel a pretty good stretch in the back of the hip that I'm pulling towards me and in the front of the hip on the straight leg. Then I'm slowly gonna take my knee and drape it over the straight leg, and I should get a really good stretch in the outside of the hip now. I'm gonna take both hands, reach them towards opposite sides of the room, and try to keep my shoulders flat on the floor. Now I should also feel this stretch right across my chest. This can be a really intense hip stretch, so feel free to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just give yourself a few seconds here. You don't have to force the knee anywhere it doesn't want to go. And when you're ready, slowly let yourself guide the knee back in towards center and bring both knees up to your chest. And then before we switch sides, I'm going to have you stretch your legs and arms. Just give yourself a full body stretch. And then we're gonna slowly bring the second knee in. Remember, you can always hold right behind the knee if it feels too intense to pull it super close to you. And then when you find a comfortable level of resistance for the back of that hip, slowly start straightening the other leg. And if it doesn't feel comfortable to fully straighten it at first, if you feel any cramping or tension, just take your time. Once you find a good level of resistance, I'm gonna drop that knee across the straight leg and then reach the hands to opposite sides of the room, finding that chest stretch again. So again, I should feel this in the outside of that top hip. I should probably feel it a little bit into my back. If this feels really intense for you, remember you can slowly untwist and just back off some of that tension. And then just let yourself take a deep breath or two wherever you're at before bringing the knees back to center and setting the feet on the ground. For the second stretch, I need a comfortable kneeling position. So if you do need an extra pillow to make that comfortable for you, you could always put that between your butt and your feet. And I'm gonna come into a child's pose, so I wanna make sure that the knees are a little bit wider than the ankles here. So I'm gonna walk the forearms out, and if it's comfortable for me, I'm gonna put a little pressure in through my fingertips and rest the elbows on the pillow. So I'm trying to push my hips back, slightly draw my belly button in as I reach forward with the hands, and get a really good stretch in my back and in my hips. So we're gonna hold here for a few seconds, maybe take a couple deep breaths, feel left to right. If one side feels a little bit tighter, we're gonna take this a little bit further. So I'm gonna slightly come up. I'm gonna leave one hand on the floor, and I'm gonna take the other hand and I'm gonna thread the needle. So I'm gonna reach it palm face up underneath the other armpit, and then I'm gonna rest the elbow and maybe that shoulder down onto my pillow. The hand can reach a little bit further if it feels comfortable for me, or it can stay where it is. Again, this is dependent on your personal level of flexibility right now, today, which might be different than yesterday or tomorrow. Nothing should feel forced, so I'm going for that 7 out of 10 stretch feeling. And then we're slowly gonna transition to the other side. So walking the hands back into center, I'm gonna reach the other arm, palm face up underneath the armpit, resting the elbow down on the pillow, maybe resting that shoulder down. And you might notice that it's much more comfortable for you to rotate to one side versus the other. So again, just being patient, trying to work towards equilibrium, one breath at a time, not trying to force this. And then after you've held for a few seconds, go ahead and let yourself come back to center and reach both hands forward one more time. Let yourself hold for a few seconds, letting your forehead rest on the pillow, let tension in the neck go. So just be patient. The goal is that we feel good coming out of this. Maybe take a couple deep breaths and then slowly walking the hands back towards you and coming up. So I'm going to keep the pillow in front of me for this next stretch. And this one is going to get into the front of the chest and the front of the hips. So for this stretch, you're going to want to come all the way down onto your belly. And then I've got the other side of the hips elevated on my pillow. So I'm going to bring the forearms onto the floor and bring the elbows back underneath the shoulders. And then I'm slightly pushing through each fingertip to push the chest up and pull the shoulders back. So you should start to feel a pretty good stretch in the front of the chest. And then you should also start to feel that in the front of your abs, maybe a little bit into the front of the hips. Now be gentle with this. If you do have any lower back pain, generally speaking, I would not go further than this. But if you're a person that tends to be pretty flexible, you may find it beneficial to push up just a little bit. So I still have my elbows about halfway bent. I'm still pulling the shoulders back, kind of broadening the chest, and I can really feel this into my abs. If you need more than that, then you can shift your hips forward even more, pull your shoulders back even more, and then pretty much entirely straighten your arms. I will caution you against locking out the elbow just because sometimes that can lead to elbow pain. So keep the tension in the muscles, keep pulling the shoulders back. And then at this point, you can kind of almost be pressing through the knees into the thighs a little bit to get that front of the hip stretch. But then again, if it feels better to you to be a little bit lower, definitely bend the elbows or even come on to the forearms in that Sphinx or puppy pose. This kind of makes me feel like a kid laying on their tummy. So coming out of this, we're gonna just do a couple cat stretches to make sure your back's feeling really good later. So go ahead and bring yourself onto all fours, push through each fingertip, let yourself really exhale as you push the middle of the back towards the ceiling. You let the back of the neck stretch and look towards your belly button, and then slowly let your belly sag, let your head come up, slightly stretching the abs. And then one more time, give yourself a big, slow exhale, really reaching the middle of the back up towards the ceiling, pushing through each fingertip, thinking about really stretching the spine, and then slowly coming back to neutral. So for this last stretch, I'm gonna put the pillow in front of my knees again, and I'm gonna start out on an all fours position. And then I'm gonna take one of my knees and place it right in the middle of my pillow. I'm gonna start to slide that back leg back just a little bit, slide it straight, and I should start feeling pretty deep stretch in my hip. And if you feel like you're up for it, you could come all the way down onto your forearms. So if you are feeling this in the outside of your booty, into your lower back just a little bit, that is excellent. And this is a pretty intense hip stretch. So if you're feeling it somewhere else, go ahead and let yourself just slowly come out of it, and then try coming into it again, drawing your belly button in first, because it might just be a little bit of an alignment thing for you. If you've got a really tight low back, you might find a little difficulty actually feeling this in your hips right away. And then after you've held this for 7 to 10 seconds and gotten a bit of release, we're gonna slowly transition to the other side, coming back to all fours. Just let yourself kind of gently shake the hips out side to side. Let go of any tension that's built there. I'm gonna bring the other knee in the center of the cushion, and then I'm gonna slowly walk the other leg back. I can, again, keep myself elevated like this, or it could come down to the forearms. I should feel a lot of stretch in the outside of the hip. If you're feeling anything in the knee, I would stick with that spinal twist stretch that we did at the beginning. But also remember that you have that option to come back up to the hands and take some of the tension out of this hip. I'm also gonna leave links to my other hip mobility videos below to give you some more knee-friendly options. And then after you've let yourself hold for 7 to 10 seconds, go ahead and walk yourself back up to that all fours position. Gently shake out the hips, and then we're just gonna push back gently and do one more child's pose just to gently stretch the lower back. Make sure we didn't create any undue tension there, and slowly let yourself walk forward and up. Awesome job today. Thanks so much for exercising with me today. I hope your body feels really great coming out of this workout, and you have some stretches you can add into your routine to keep yourself feeling flexible and well. If you want some more stretching routines, I'm gonna link a couple here at the end. And if you have other questions, or you want some personalized support for your workout program, feel free to reach out to me through the application link in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.